Most spiritual seekers spend years searching for truth. They meditate, read ancient texts, watch endless videos, and chase the next insight that promises enlightenment. Yet despite all of that effort, something still feels just out of reach. Not because the truth is hidden, but because the mind is searching for something that cannot be found. And nowhere is the misunderstanding clearer than in the way people talk about the monad. The monad is not a destination. It is not a mystical object. It is not a cosmic being somewhere in the universe. And it is definitely not something you can become. The truth is far stranger and far simpler. And once this misunderstanding collapses, the entire spiritual search begins to look very different. Across spiritual traditions, philosophy, and mysticism, the word monad appears again and again. The Pythagoreans spoke of it. The Neoplatonists described it as the source of all existence. Mystics referred to it as the One, the Absolute, or the divine ground. But over time, something subtle happened. Instead of pointing toward reality, the concept became another spiritual idea to chase. People began imagining the monad as something separate from themselves, a higher state, a cosmic unity to merge with, a final enlightenment waiting at the end of the path. But this assumption hides a critical mistake, because the monad is not something you move toward. It is what reality already is before the mind divides it. And until that is understood, the search itself becomes the very thing that keeps the truth hidden. The mind has one primary function. It divides reality into subjects and objects. There is the observer and the thing being observed. There is the seeker and the thing being sought. There is the spiritual practitioner and enlightenment waiting somewhere ahead. This structure works well for navigating the physical world. But when it comes to understanding the nature of existence itself, this mechanism creates a problem. Because the monad cannot be turned into an object. It cannot be seen. It cannot be measured. It cannot be reached. Why? Because the monad is the very ground from which the observer and the observed arise. Trying to find the monad as something separate is like a wave trying to find the ocean. The wave already is the ocean, appearing in motion. And the seeker is the monad, appearing as the act of seeking. The moment this becomes clear, the search begins to lose its urgency. Another reason seekers misunderstand the monad is because spirituality often becomes another identity. The spiritual ego says things like, I am evolving, I am becoming more conscious, I am getting closer to enlightenment. At first, these ideas seem positive, but hidden within them is the assumption that you are not already whole, that realization lies somewhere in the future, and this belief fuels endless seeking. But here's the paradox. The monad is not a result of spiritual progress. It is what exists before the idea of progress even appears. You cannot move closer to it. You cannot earn it. You cannot become it. Because the very awareness hearing these words right now is already arising within it. Realization is not a spiritual achievement. It is the collapse of the illusion that anything was missing in the first place. Another reason the monad is misunderstood is because language itself creates confusion. Language depends on distinctions. This versus that. Self versus world. Subject versus object. But the monad refers to something prior to all distinctions. So every attempt to describe it inevitably creates the illusion of separation again. For example, people may say, the monad is everything, but that still implies that there are many things that make up the whole. Others say, The monad is pure unity, but unity still suggests that multiple parts were combined. Even the phrase, the one, can be misleading, because the number one still belongs to a system of counting, and the monad is not a number. It is the reality in which numbers, thoughts, and concepts even appear. This is why many mystics eventually fall silent, not because there is nothing to say, but because words always arrive one step too late. Perhaps the biggest misunderstanding is the idea that the monad is something to realize later. People imagine that through meditation, studying, or awakening experiences, they will eventually arrive at it. But this belief quietly creates distance. It turns the monad into a future event, and as long as it is placed in the future, it remains out of reach. This is the trap many seekers fall into. They chase insight after insight, experience after experience, but the one thing they never question is the seeker itself. What if the one searching for the monad is simply another appearance within it? What if the distance between you and the monad is nothing more than a thought? And what if the moment that thought dissolves, nothing actually needs to happen? Because reality has never been separate from itself. The final reason people misunderstand the monad is because they expect realization to be dramatic. They expect a cosmic vision, a mystical explosion of light, a permanent state of bliss. And while powerful experiences can happen along the spiritual path, they are not the essence of realization. Because experiences come and go, the monad does not. Realization is often far simpler than people expect. It is the quiet recognition that nothing was ever outside the whole. The sounds around you, the thoughts in your mind, the sensations in your body, the awareness, noticing all of it. None of these exist separately. They are movements within the same indivisible reality. The mind may still think. The world may still appear divided, but something deeper is understood. The division was never real. Most spiritual seekers misunderstand the monad because they approach it in the same way they approach everything else, as something to understand, something to reach, something to become. But the monad is not another spiritual idea. It is not a higher level of consciousness. It is not waiting at the end of a path. It is the reality that was already present before the path began. And the moment this becomes clear, the search begins to soften. Not because truth has been found, but because it was never lost. If this journey spoke to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone ready to experience life beyond thought. Comment below. What was the moment that made you question the spiritual search itself? I read every comment. If you would like to support my work directly, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/magnumopus333. Or you can explore some original merchandise at my Teespring store online. The link is in the description below. Remember, your consciousness is the key that unlocks reality. Let's keep unlocking it together. Thank you for watching. Until next time.